Well, hello and welcome back to another exciting edition of Coffee with Stephen. So this week's blog is entitled The Treasure Fleet of the Dragon Throne. How romantic does that sound? Most of you have probably heard of the famous voyage of Christopher Columbus in 1492. And there has always been somewhat of we'll call it an oddity for lack of a better term, as to why it is that Europe made its way to the, American continent prior to China. After all, when Christopher Columbus in 1492 was coming across the Atlantic in three tiny ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria, China had the treasure fleet of the Dragon Throne, almost 250 men of war. And yet, they didn't engage in any form of real sort of like navigational exploration. They certainly were well acquainted with Europe. I mean, after all, because of Marco Polo, there had been, continuous trade between China and Europe and vice versa. But yet there seemed to be no impetus on the part of this incredibly technologically advanced empire to make their way west across the Pacific. Or for that matter, even trying to explore or colonize Africa, which was certainly within their scope. I use that same literary trope of talking with Cosmo, the lieutenant colonel in the officer club, as we discuss this. One of the theories is that because of, on one end, a desire of competition among the various warring states of Europe, there was this desire to simply be better than some of the other states, hence one of the driving forces for colonization as well as exploration, a status symbol, so to speak. Another one has to deal with a certain level of hubris on the part of the Chinese. I don't want to minimize this. They truly did believe, and there might be empirical evidence to support this contention, that they were literally better than everybody else. They were certainly technologically more advanced, and they had a greater level of diverse culture and everything else. There simply wasn't the impetus that drove them to compete with anyone. After all, if you really do believe you have the best stuff in the world, why are you going to be searching out others for their stuff? Anyways, it's kind of an interesting interplay. I do hope you read it and see how it potentially can translate into sort of modern day feelings of self-empowerment, if you will. In any event, I want you to train constantly, train consistently, train repetitively, and train with purpose. Above all else, stay safe.